Imagine you're playing a game where everyone follows the same rules, except nobody ever hands you the rule book. You wake up, go to school, get a job, work hard, save a little, pay your bills, and hope that one day you'll finally feel financially free. Millions of people follow this exact path every single day. Yet somehow, a small percentage of people seem to play by an entirely different set of rules. Why? It's not because they work 20 times harder. It's not because they discovered a secret bank account hidden somewhere in the world. It's because they understand a few hidden rules about money that most people are never explicitly taught. And once you see these rules, it's hard to unsee them. Here's the first one. The financial system doesn't reward effort as much as it rewards value and ownership. Think about it. A construction worker may spend 10 exhausting hours building a house. A software engineer might write code all day. A nurse might work an overnight shift saving lives. Their effort is real, but effort alone doesn't determine how wealth grows. Imagine two people. Sarah earns a good salary and spends almost everything she makes every month. James earns about the same amount, but every month he buys a tiny piece of businesses through broad stock market index funds, adds money to a retirement account, and slowly builds ownership in productive assets. 5 years pass. Their salaries stayed similar. Their lifestyles look similar, but their financial lives begin moving in completely different directions. Why? Because while Sarah only exchanged time for money, James slowly accumulated ownership. That's one of the biggest differences between income and wealth. Income pays today's bills. Ownership can help build tomorrow's wealth. Most people spend years trying to increase their paycheck. Far fewer spend the same energy increasing what they own. Now here's something even more interesting. Money itself is constantly moving. Every dollar changes hands again and again. Businesses use it to hire employees. Employees spend it on groceries. Stores pay suppliers. Suppliers pay manufacturers. The economy depends on money circulating. Once you start seeing money as movement instead of something that simply sits in a bank account, you begin asking different questions. Instead of asking, how do I earn more money? You start asking, how do I become part of where money flows? That simple shift changes everything. Now here's a thought experiment. Imagine two neighbors. Every Friday, one neighbor spends $50 eating out, the other also spends $50, but occasionally invests that amount into a diversified investment account while still enjoying life within a budget. Neither decision is automatically right or wrong. Life is meant to be enjoyed, but over many years, consistent investing has historically given many people the opportunity to participate in the long-term growth of businesses and the broader economy. The point isn't to never spend. The point is to understand the trade-offs behind every financial decision. That's a rule many people only discover much later in life. Here's another hidden rule. Debt isn't always bad, but expensive debt can quietly work against you. Imagine carrying a credit card balance with a high interest rate. Every month, a portion of your income goes toward interest before it can help you build savings or investments. Now compare that with someone who avoids high interest debt, builds an emergency fund, and invests consistently over decades. The difference isn't usually one dramatic decision. It's hundreds of small decisions, repeated over time. Which brings us to another rule that almost feels unfair. Time matters more than timing. People often wait for the perfect moment to start investing, the perfect market, the perfect economy, the perfect salary. The problem? Perfect rarely arrives. Historically, long-term participation has mattered far more than trying to predict every market move. Compounding rewards patience more than prediction. Albert Einstein may or may not have called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. The quote's origin is uncertain, but the underlying principle is powerful. Small gains can build upon previous gains over long periods. Not overnight, not next month, but over years. That's why wealth often looks invisible until suddenly it doesn't. Now let's talk about something money books rarely mention: attention. Every single day, thousands of companies compete for one thing: your attention. Because attention often influences spending, notifications, limited time offers, one-click purchases, flash sales. None of these exist by accident. The easier it becomes to spend without thinking, the harder it becomes to save intentionally. That's why one of the most valuable financial habits isn't finding the next hot investment. It's learning to pause, to ask one simple question: will this purchase still matter to me a year from now? Sometimes the answer is yes. Many times, it isn't. And those small pauses can become surprisingly valuable over a lifetime. Here's another rule: financial knowledge often compounds just like money. The first investing book may confuse you. The second makes a little more sense. The 10th changes how you see the world. You begin noticing businesses instead of just products, assets instead of possessions, cash flow instead of appearances. Eventually, you stop asking, "How rich does someone look?" and start asking, "What creates lasting financial stability?" Because appearances can be borrowed, cars can be leased, luxury can be financed, but genuine financial resilience is usually much quieter. Many financially successful people don't look extraordinary. Their wealth often comes from years of consistent habits rather than dramatic moments. And maybe that's the biggest hidden rule of all. The financial system isn't a puzzle that only a select few can solve, but it does reward people who keep learning, think long-term, understand incentives, and make deliberate decisions. There isn't a single secret that instantly changes everything. There are dozens of small principles that quietly work together over time. The people who seem to have a completely different financial life often aren't playing a different game. They simply learned the rules earlier. The good news: you don't have to know every rule today. You only need to start learning the next one. Because the moment you stop believing money is just about earning and start understanding how it moves, grows, and compounds, you're no longer just participating in the financial system. You're finally beginning to understand it.